Center. Here's LeBron James after the loss.
Ron, I'm sure we'll get to future questions soon, but JJ always talks about, or talked about before the game, the level of focus that he saw in you and kind of the leadership. How do you go from that, and then you guys battle to the way that you did, and then it's over? Like, how does that transition in your headspace at this point of doing it for so much time and all that you put into it?
Well, I mean, obviously it's a process. It's not about to happen right now. The process of thinking about the whole season and its brutality. I mean, and then processing it over the next, we'll say, couple weeks. And look back on some of the things you did great, some of the things you didn't do too well, some of the things that you, wish it would have went this way. But at the end of the day, you control the controllables, and what you can't control, you don't, try to, let it affect you too much or affect you at all. So. Yeah.
LeBron, you've spoken to us about retirement more than at any other point in your career as this season played out. What do you feel like's left for you in the NBA?
Well, I think you guys asked me about it, and I've answered questions. Yeah, I don't think I've come out like, oh, retirement is coming. So, I mean, with my future, I don't know, obviously. I mean, obviously we're still fresh from, obviously losing, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the future holds for me, obviously, as it stands right now tonight. I got a lot of time. I'll sit back, like I think I said it last year after we lost, I think, to Minnesota, there, go back and recalibrate with my family and talk with them and spend some time with them. And then when the time comes, obviously, you guys know what I decide to do.
LeBron, this is the longest stretch of your career that you've spent in one place. What are the moments that you carry with you as a Laker that, like, at the top of your mind right now that stand out as special things you were able to do here?
I mean, there's a lot. I mean, obviously winning the championship 2020 will stand at the top. I mean, that was the reason why I came here, to restore, that level of play and restore this franchise back to what it was known for, winning championships and playing at a high level. And, to be out there with that group and go out there and win a championship and us competing at a championship level was something that I kind of envisioned, and we was able to accomplish that. So that would stand at the top for sure.
LeBron, we asked you throughout the season about this team's identity. Now that we're at the end, how would you define the identity, and what did you like about it?
Well, I mean, obviously, it was so many different seasons in one season with our ball club, and obviously injuries played a big part of it. But as far as our identity, I thought we were super resilient, and whatever that happened, either if it was me at the beginning of the season, or if it was AR going down, or if it was Luka going down, or reshaping lineups and guys stepping up and playing, we stayed resilient. And for our group to have the moment that we had when Luka goes down, with the hamstring, and then AR goes down with the oblique, and we staring down the barrel of a playoff series, versus Houston. And I thought our guys just responded and was super resilient for us to, win that series was big time for the group that was possessed to go out there. So I would say resilient. I think that was the number one thing for that ball club, for our ball club this year.
LeBron, we just spoke to Austin a few minutes ago, and when he was asked about potentially playing with you beyond this year, he said it would, quote unquote, mean the world to him. How have you seen Austin grow since as he put it, you took him under his wing when he got here? How have you seen him grow since he's been here, and now that he's going to be on the market for potentially a lot of money?
Well, that last part has nothing to do with me. Listen, him and his team will handle that situation. But just seeing AR grow over what was 5 years. There's been nothing short of amazing. I mean, he's a hard worker. He loves the game. He wants to get better, and he's not afraid of constructive criticism. And I kind of knew that from the beginning. I saw the talent, but I also saw that he was willing to put the work in and willing to. He wasn't afraid of the moment. So to see where he is today is awesome, and it's something that I knew he could be a big-time player for our ball club, and I knew, if he just got the opportunity, and also he gained the confidence in himself that he belonged in this league, then he could do some special things in this league, and he's obviously showed that.
LeBron, in year 23, how different did this feel walking off the court, not knowing what the future holds for you versus past years when we knew you were coming back to play?
I don't know. I mean, I guess when you get like over 40, you start forgetting shit that happened. So I don't even remember many of the last times walking off the court. But listen, like I said, I mean, shit, I left everything I could out on the floor. I control what I can control, and I can leave the floor saying like, shit. I mean, even though I hate losing, obviously, but I was locked in on what we needed to do. Made sure that I tried to make sure our guys were locked in on what we needed to do throughout the postseason, throughout 10 games. And obviously we fell a little short, obviously, but I mean, I'm not looking at, my year as a disappointment. That's for damn sure. Especially, I was put into some positions that I've never played in my career before, actually in my life. I've never been a third option in my life. So to be able to, thrive in that role for that period of time, and then have to step back into the role that I've been accustomed with over my career, over my life of playing a sport, and be able to thrive under that, and then just my teammates allowing me to lead them under extreme circumstances, that was pretty cool for me at this stage of my career.
LeBron, if you don't know what the future holds, I guess that means inherently this could be it. Do you allow yourself to kind of those last handshakes and this last press conference?
Last handshakes? No, I don't know, because I have no idea. I mean, shit, none of us in here know what the future holds. None of us. Nobody has any idea what the future holds, and I don't either. Like I said, I'll take time to recalibrate and look over the season and see what's best for my future. And when I get to that point, everyone will know.
Hey, Bron. You've changed the league in so many ways. How do you think you defined it this year, and what did the season mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, it was. Obviously, every season has its own chapter, and there was many different points of this season where looking at the school, looking at our team, looking at what we were capable of, and for me, I started the season not playing, missing the first 14 games, missing training camp, missing preseason. It was the first time for me doing that, so that was challenging in its own right, just to get back and questioning yourself at times if you feel like you're gonna be able to get back to what you know you can do and do at this level, and to be able to do that and just keep pushing the limit as much as I could, at this stage of my career, was something that it's been pretty cool, and to be able to still be able to make an impact on the team that's competing, that's pretty cool too. And like I said, I think after the Houston series, to be able to win a playoff series with some guys that, one, either never been in the playoffs before, and two, never won a playoff series before. To be in a bunker, to be in a foxhole with guys with that that was pretty awesome too. So just try to make an impact, every year that I'm on the floor. The one thing that is that you're probably going to have a rookie that joins the team that doesn't know what the NBA is all about, and it's always been my responsibility to kind of lead by example and also lead by a voice and to show them what being a professional is all about, and that's always been important to me.
Last three. Hey, Bron. You could play at this level for another 5 years or so if you wanted. When you reflect mentally and spiritually on whether you want to keep going, what's the decision process going to be like for you behind closed doors?
I don't know. I think for me, it's about the process. If I can commit to still being in love with the process of showing up to the arena 5.5 hours before a game to start preparing for a game, giving everything I got, diving for loose balls, and doing everything that you know that it takes to go out and play, and showing up to practices, 11 o'clock practice, I'm there at 8 o'clock, preparing my body, preparing my mind, preparing to practice, to put the work in, and so I think for me, I've always been in love with the process and not the aftermath of like, okay, well, we won that game, or we won a championship, or I've always enjoyed the process and not more than the outcome, So I think that would be a big factor, and then also, have a conversation with my 12-year-old daughter. That's a big factor, and my 19-year-old son is entering his second year at Arizona, and my wife as well. So they're a huge factor in any decision I've made. So they'll be a big part of it as well.
Ron, so I know that you mentioned how different this year was for you, and I don't get to ask many 40-year-old athletes this, but are there things as a basketball player that you'd want to show that you haven't gotten to show in subsequent years, even next year?
Yeah, no. No. I mean, I did it this year. I mean, shit. Yeah, there's nothing I need to show, in this league, as far as like, okay, well, I want to show people I can do this, or show myself I can do this. I've done it all. I've seen it all. So, just being able to compete and trying to win championships, I think that's a motivating factor. It's always been, since I've probably. First time I touched the postseason in 06, it was like, how can I compete for a championship? Like when I touched the postseason, I was like, oh, this is something I want to be a part of for a long time. So, and obviously I've had some success in the postseason throughout my career. But as far as me individually, no. No.
LeBron, I wanted to ask you, you talked a bit about loving the process. Can you talk about the love for the game itself? Forget the process. Is it still there? Do you love this sport?
Well, I mean, I can't forget the process. It's impossible. That's just part of my DNA. But the love of the game is always there. I don't think that ever goes away, no matter if you. I mean, you've seen the interview earlier in the year. I think MJ did the interview with Mike Tirico, and he was just talking about his desire of the game still, like even though he's not playing, but like he still loves the game. Like that shit would never go away. Like we grow up playing a game that we love, and you do it at a high level, and that I don't think that'll ever go away. But the process for me has always been so much more important, because for me personally, if I fell out of love with the process, then I'll probably fall out of love with the game. Because I'm not treating the game with respect for me personally. Because I know how much work that I put into it, and if I'm now showing up to the arena for game day 2 hours before the game, it's like I'm cheating the process. If I'm showing up for practice at 11 o'clock practice and I'm showing up at 10 o'clock, 10:30, I'm cheating the process. So that means something is going on where I fell out of love with the game in the process. Like if I'm not working on something. So that is